This week in gaming, the Doomslayer had a birthday party. I mastered God of War.
Let's get into Ultimate Gamer mode. Shit.
And Fntastic is finished. Or are they? This is the Crook Report. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the #1 gaming news show on YouTube that features a man in a top hat and light-up glasses. I'm the man they call Crook, and I know a crook when I see one. Fntastic are at it again, but the rabbit hole goes way deeper than I previously thought. There is a Fntastic, pun intended, documentary-style video made by Skill Up, titled The Day Before, A Scam to Remember. That video goes pretty damn deeply into all the things that Fntastic has done, and it's a lot. But for the purposes of this show, here's an abridged version of what happened. The Day Before was in development for 5 years, so they say. They released incredible looking trailers, none of which were actual gameplay, and people were quick to point out that this was a studio with virtually no track record whatsoever, which now suddenly had trailers for an incredible looking game. This raised a few red flags. They then delayed their game several times over and over again, sometimes mere weeks before the game was meant to release, which raised some red flags. They released a few more trailers, but these were starting to look extremely familiar. Red flag. Then, leading up to their release, the game was delisted off of Steam for a copyright claim since they didn't actually check to see if they could use the name The Day Before, which was a what? A big old red flag. So they delayed the game again, but it turned out they had already planned to delay the game anyways and simply used the copyright claim as an excuse for the delay. They eventually released actual gameplay footage because at this point the pressure from the public was so immense that they had to do something. And the gameplay footage was terrible. What's worse than a red flag? I don't know. But then, finally, the game was released on Steam in early access on December 7th to tremendous success, and then immediately lost their entire player base. The game was trashed in the reviews. IGN gave it a 1. And Fntastic said, please stop saying we're scamming, which is exactly what a scammer would say, and then they closed down their studio, saying in statements from their Twitter account that they have no more money, and shit happens. That is what they said. But the story doesn't exactly end there. It turns out they may not have exactly shut down as they stated, but instead simply rebranded themselves and are now calling the studio 8 Points, which is in reference to how many people gave this game a positive rating. Just kidding, nobody gave this game a positive rating. They changed their name to 8 Points under one of their previously released games just hours before announcing the closure of the Fntastic studio. It's a little hard to figure out exactly what's going on here. It seems 8 Points was the name of Fntastic Studios before changing it to Fntastic, which is clearly a worse name, and I refuse to say it seriously. But I'm also seeing some people say that Fntastic is no longer associated with this previous game, and the name change under that title has nothing to do with Fntastic. Kinda hard to verify, but that's the story so far. Now, I like myself a good villain story now and then, but the key word there is good. Fntastic's villainy was trash. The Day Before was released, Fntastic went and deleted all of the trailers they had posted and said to themselves, ha ha, nobody will ever know we did that. And then everybody found out they did that. Then when the game was released, they went and deleted the tag MMO from the Steam description, thinking, aha! Now that's gone forever and will not be brought back up again. And then the internet brought it back up again. Then they deleted everything off of YouTube as well as their personal Twitter accounts, thinking, nobody will ever know it was us. Absolute amateur hour. But this all does beg the question, why go through all this hassle? You still had to buy all of these assets, presumably hire a team. Oh wait, the team at Fntastic were all volunteers, but still, they had to put money into the marketing, put money into the game. They did all of this without asking for any crowdfunding or pre-order cash, and then sell something that was clearly not a real game for a discounted price. I mean, come on! This is amateur villainy here. Let's kick it up a notch. There are already much better gaming scams out there. Like, have you considered making a mobile game? Or perhaps a legit $60 game that locks everything you need to play it behind a paywall. These are all perfectly good scams happening in the industry already. What the hell are you doing? Unfortunately, all of this does prove one thing, and it's that making fake trailers works. In an era where the people who make video games are struggling to make video games that work, we now know that if you have a flashy enough trailer, people will buy it. When the game released, they had a huge amount of active players. Granted, they lost all of them immediately, but it does show that a few fake trailers will still make people want to play the game. That is the danger, but for now, we'll just have to see what happens. In other news, E3 is officially over. E3 was gaming's largest expo, where the industry got to show off a little bit and give us a glimpse into the future. E3 gave us incredible moments like this.
Then show me what you know. Feed us.
And this.
I was literally paralyzed, full chills, entire body.
Unfortunately, E3 was a victim of several different things, but largely the COVID-19 pandemic, canceling their show 3 of the last 4 years, which ultimately led to E3 announcing on the platform formerly known as Twitter that they will be closing their doors for good, marking the end of a 20-year era. GG's E3, GG's. God of War's free DLC is out and it's fantastic. I'll have a video on it soon, but for now, just know that if you're a fan of the series, it's worth playing. Santa Monica giving us a good gaming experience just days after this whole Fntastic fiasco feels like a small win for us. The DLC is well thought out, it introduces some new things which I won't spoil here, I'll spoil them in another video, but it's an excellent addition to the game and it's designed to challenge the player to master its mechanics, which of course we all know I did. Oh shit, don't do my charge enough. If you have the base game, download this DLC, it's worth the price of free. And if you're playing on anything other than the easiest 2 difficulties, I hope you like spending time on the beach. And that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you next week. Probably. I need to sign off something catchy. You stay classy, YouTube. No, that's not it.